So, a marathon 3 hour practice session has just concluded for the Indian cricket team at the Wankhede Stadium. Remember, because of the lunar eclipse, normally what they would do is practice from 6 to 9, but today they have practiced from 7 to 10. Why has it ended just now? Because they arrived a bit late. They, instead of 7 o'clock, they arrived at 7:15, 7:20, and that is why it took some time for them to start the practice session. But once they started, it can be considered that okay, four major talking points in the entire practice session. Number one, Hardik Pandya. Now, I have seen practice sessions of the Indian cricket team, and Hardik Pandya seems to be dominating in all of that. But today, he had a marathon 150-minute batting session. He seemed to have hit well over 56s in that whole practice session that took place. He was, whether it was on the left hand side of the in the main pitch or on the right hand side of the pitch nets, he was smoking them all over the park. And it looked like he just didn't want to stop. Hardik Pandya was just going ballistic with all the deliveries, whether it be the throwdown specialists, whether it be the other individuals who are there who are bowling to him. Arshdeep also had a huge 1 hour session that was going on. So yes, the prime focus was that Hardik Pandya has batted more in the nets than any other player that you've seen in the thing. And it's very surprising because Hardik Pandya comes lower down the order. He doesn't get that much time to bat. But boy, oh boy, once he keeps on batting, he just doesn't stop. At the end of the session, when you looked at it, Hardik Pandya, Surya Kumar Yadav, Gautam Gambhir, they were all having a practice session. They were all having an intense discussion. There was an intense discussion on 3-4 things, but I'll come to that a bit later. So, Hardik Pandya was continuously hitting sixes just for fun, and he looked to be in the groove. The throwdown specialist also came down and then he tried to bowl Yorkers wide outside off, and Hardik Pandya tried to squeeze that out as well. But the focus is on Abhishek Sharma. Let's make one thing very clear here. Everybody wants Abhishek Sharma to fire. Just before he ended the practice session, some fans were at the pavilion end of the ground and then they were asking Abhishek Sharma, please, can we take a selfie? We love you. We want to ensure that you want to do well in this particular semi-final. And he obliged. Abhishek seemed to be in a calm zone. But the practice session as well planned for Abhishek Sharma as he would have. Because for one simple reason. Today, he started the session in 3 parts. He started bowling. Abhishek Sharma and all the spinners, be it Washington Sundar, be it Kuldeep Yadav, be it Varun Chakravarti, the first hour from 7:40 all the way till 8:50, 8:55, they were continuously bowling. Bumrah had a very short session with the ball. Mohammad Siraj had an extended spell. And Arshdeep Singh also had a lengthy session of close to 1.5 hours. Then Abhishek Sharma also bowled in that along with Tilak Verma. Tilak also had an extended session. Then he batted very little. But the main focus for close to 30 to 40 minutes, when it was towards the third man region or was it towards the mid-wicket square leg region, there was huge practice drills of fielding, catching. Catching was the main essence for Arshdeep, for Tilak and for Abhishek Sharma in particular. So they were using a pink tennis ball to loft it high up in the air so that they could catch it at that stage. And Abhishek Sharma was taking some of the catches well. Arshdeep was also taking the catches and even Tilak Verma was taking the catches well. So you have to understand one major thing here. The fielding was the main focus in this particular practice session, which involved 3 particular players. Abhishek, then you look at it, also Tilak Verma. Remember, Abhishek and Tilak have been dropping catches on a consistent basis. And that is why this was very, very important that yes, they do not fluff their chances yet again. So for close to 30 to 40 minutes in 2 parts, Abhishek and Arshdeep and Tilak had a fielding session that was going on. Then, towards the fag end, when you look at it, Shivam Dubey had an extended session. They were testing him with the short balls. Sanju Samson, remark what Sanju Samson was doing. He batted one end and then he looked in decentish touch. He came to the other end also. He was the only guy who batted on one end and then he batted on the other end as well. So Sanju Samson also had a good session. But Abhishek's session did not materialize well. Gambhir, when you look at the net position that was there, the second net on the left hand side of the main pitch, Gambhir was monitoring very closely and he was looking at it very seriously what was doing. Abhishek on certain occasions played and missed. There was one stroke in which he came down and then he got an edge. And visibly he didn't look happy at all. But then towards the session, he started middling the deliveries, and that's why Abhishek Sharma looked in decentish touch, but the confidence still is a bit low. Let's make one thing very clear. Abhishek Sharma heads into this match with lot of pressure and slight dip in confidence as well when it comes to his batting. But his catching seems to have done well at this stage, and that's why, see, you will not drop an Abhishek Sharma for the final. Let's make one thing very clear here. You're not going to drop him for the semi-final and the final because even England are spooked, by the way. Sam Curran, in the press conference, wants a repeat of November 19, where we want to silence the Wankhede crowd. But England also, let's make one thing very clear, there is a certain intimidation factor, but not as intimidating as Australia. So that is the one thing we are looking at it at this point in time when you look at the situation involving Abhishek Sharma. So the fielding drills were the key part in this whole practice session. And I'll come to the dew. Now, many people will be wondering what is the dew factor here in the Wankhede Stadium. Now, you have to understand when the practice session began, the weather conditions were different. Now, the weather conditions are different. I'll tell you why. In the evening session and in the afternoon session, there was a very strong breeze blowing. The plastic flappers that were there at the Wankhede Stadium, you could hear those sounds. The flags that were there, they were completely fluttering around wildly. At that time, from 7 o'clock onwards until 9, there was hardly any dew. Dew was just about to get going at that stage. But then, when the wind died down and when the temperature increased, then dew set in. And because of that, what happened is, by 10 o'clock, when you touched the grass, it was wet. It was like you had washed your hands with a bar of soap and you were rinsing it in the wash basin. It was that wet. So, if you look at the particular time in which it's set, 9:15 to 9:30 onwards, you will then realize that if you bat first, then you have to bowl really, really well. Because the conditions might change tomorrow. Tomorrow, India are having a day practice. But if the wind is not there, there will be dew at the Wankhede. So if you bat second, big advantage. Big advantage because the dew will set in at the Wankhede in the night time by about 9:15, 9:30. Why 9:15, 9:30 is a very important period? Because understand one thing. Today, India did a complete match simulation. You played from 7 to 10:15, 15-20 minutes up and down, but you played 99% of the match in that particular period. So what has happened is, you have replicated the match situation, you have found out, okay, there is an issue. Dew does set in after 9:15, 9:30. And in the context of a match, one innings is over, by 9:30 the power play is done. So that is why this is a very, very important development when you talk about the dew factor. So if you want to ensure that there is dew, then batting second becomes easier. So that is the current situation when you're looking at it. Dew at this point in time, there was dew, but it was easier for India to chase. So that is the current situation involving the Indian cricket team practice at this point. Tomorrow there will be a practice session from 2 to 5. There will be a press conference at 3:30. Maybe Surya Kumar Yadav will come for the press conference. So that is the one thing we are looking at this point in time when you have to talk about Surya Kumar Yadav and the rest of the Indian players that is there. Maybe there won't be much of dew when they practice 2 to 5. There will be a wind. England will face the dew most often in that sense. So let's see how the practice session pans out from tomorrow onwards. The Indian cricket team, by the way, they have finished their practice session. They will be actually now heading out after about 20-25 minutes. Mammoth practice session, by the way. So yeah, that is the situation when you have to look at the practice drills of the Indian cricket team. Everyone, and towards the fag end also, there was a lot of humor. Mohammad Siraj was batting, and when he hit a six, when he hit a couple of sixes, the whole team clapped, and there was hollering all over the Wankhede Stadium. Oh, look at the way how Siraj Mian, how DSP Siraj was really going about it at this point in time. So this is the current situation we are looking at this stage. So yep, India versus England, it's T-2. We are almost done with it, and T-1 tomorrow. I'll also be back with all the latest updates that's there. I'll take some comments, by the way. Freaking awesome. Better India bat first if he'll win the toss, as 200 plus has been chased only once in Wankhede. There will be initial movement in the second innings as well. But also understand one thing. By 9:30, 10, it is soaking wet at the Wankhede at this point. Butler is totally out of form, although England's bowling is not great, but it's better than West Indies bowling. Sure it is. And MP had a very bad comment that he directed, but he luckily cancelled it out. Freaking awesome. But even in Kolkata game, there was dew but not heavy. Can we expect heavy dew in Wankhede? Boss, when I checked it at 9:30, 10 o'clock, my hands got wet in a big way. So that is why this is the current situation when you look at the dew factor. MP is saying if India wins toss and bowls first, it will not be good for Sky and Gambhir. It will be the most costly mistake ever. Don't do this rubbish. If it is not West Indies, it is England we are facing. But even England have had a topsy-turvy situation, my friend. And see, if England, the pitch is going to be a belter. And when you look at the previous game, yes, India did defend against the USA. But the conditions at that time and the conditions now are totally different. So let's see what happens when Surya Kumar Yadav will answer the question. Let's see how that pans out. So yep, that is about it from us folks here. It was a lengthy practice session. Tomorrow also it'll be an optional session, and according to some reports that I have just heard from the Wankhede stadium, after the game the Indian team will go to Siddhivinayak. Most likely that is the situation. And we also got an RFA that, I mean, this was confirmed that yep, Amit Shah, the Home Minister, will be visiting the Wankhede Stadium on 5th to watch the India versus England semi-final, because remember, the wedding of Sachin Tendulkar's son is also taking place. So yeah, lots of things happening in Mumbai at this point in time. Thank you so much folks for joining us for this update. Subscribe to Sports Today for all the latest news and analysis.